QuoteIQ, the best field service management software built specifically for home service contractors, just released a brand new AI feature inside of their business phone system, ClientHub. And this feature is insane. And if you didn't know, ClientHub is essentially a full business phone system built directly into QuoteIQ's CRM. So with QuoteIQ, the same software you're using to send estimates, create invoices, manage your employees, schedule jobs, everything that you need to do for your business, also has a full built-in business phone system, and now it has some AI functionality. But with QuoteIQ's business phone system ClientHub, you get texting, calling, voicemail, call recordings, call summaries, the whole communication stack all sitting in one place inside of QuoteIQ. That means you're not stitching together OpenPhone or RingCentral with a separate database to manage your customers. It's all unified inside of one tool, and that tool is QuoteIQ. That matters for context because the feature that we're looking at today lives inside the ClientHub feature. So this new AI feature is called AI Auto-Reply. What QuoteIQ has built here is what I call an action-taking AI. It does 4 distinct things. First, it actually replies to your customers using your conversation history and your customer data, so it's not generic, it's contextual. Second, it can book appointments directly on your calendar after checking your availability, meaning that AI is doing actual scheduling on your behalf, not just confirming intent. Third, it can draft estimates and create invoices that are ready to send, so it's automating your quote preparation for you. And fourth, it can detect negative sentiment or urgent request and route those conversations straight to you so a human handles them before an AI does. This is the kind of feature that in 2026 separates a real home service software from what is essentially a glorified text inbox with calendars attached. So we're going to do 2 things today. First, I'm going to set this up from scratch, every setting, every toggle, every guardrail, so you can see exactly what the configuration looks like and what each option does. Then in the second half of this video, I'm actually going to use this feature. We're going to pretend to do 6 different types of customers, and I'm going to show you exactly how AI handles a normal quote, a customer trying to book an appointment, a pricing question, an angry customer, a refund demand, and a rapid fire back and forth conversation. So if you run a pressure washing company, a lawn care business, an HVAC operation, a plumbing company, or really any home service business, and you're not the first person to respond when a lead texts in, this is the category of features that's going to decide whether you're winning customers over or letting them go to your competitors faster. So let's get into this video. The setup for this feature lives inside of QuoteIQ's ClientHub. So once you're inside of QuoteIQ, navigate over to ClientHub and then click on the configure button. That's going to give you a drop-down menu with a few different options: call forwarding, voice calling, call settings, AI auto-reply, and AI usage and activity. The one we're looking at is AI auto-reply. When you click into it, the whole configuration panel opens up on the right side of your screen, and the way that it's organized is actually really intuitive. There are 3 different types of buckets of settings. The first bucket is behavior, which controls how the AI thinks and responds. The second bucket is voice, which controls how the AI sounds and what business-specific rules it follows. And the third bucket is guardrails, which controls what the AI should hand off to you and what topics it should route directly to a human. Now I'm going to walk through each section in order because the order actually does matter when you're setting this up for the first time. The first section you're going to want to look at is called status and review. This is where the master controls live for the entire auto-reply engine. When you click into it, you'll see 3 main toggles. The first toggle is enable auto-reply, and that's exactly what it sounds like. It's the master on-off switch for the entire system. When this is toggled on, the AI is actively responding to incoming customer messages whenever you're not personally available to handle them. The second toggle is called review before sending. When this is toggled on, every reply that the AI generates gets queued up for your first approval. You see the message, you approve it, and then it goes out. This is perfect if you want hands-on control of every single text going out from your business. You keep the speed and intelligence of the AI, but you're the one hitting send. The third toggle is after hours only, and this is one of the smartest use cases for this entire feature. You can restrict the AI to firing only outside of your business hours. So during the day when you and your team are responsive, customers get a human response. And then at night or on a weekend or a holiday, when you would normally miss the lead, the AI picks it up for you and keeps the conversation alive. So for the purposes of this demo, I'm turning enable auto reply on, and I'm leaving review before sending and after hours only off, so you can see how this AI actually fires in real time. But toggle on whatever you want and then press save. Next up is smart level. This setting controls how intelligent and contextual the AI's responses are, and there are 3 modes to this. The first one is called acknowledge. This is the simplest mode. The AI sends a quick confirmation back to the customer that you received their message. It's good for when you just want to let people know they're heard. The second mode is called continue. contextual. In this mode, the AI reads through the conversation history with that customer, looks at their customer data, and writes a real contextual reply that's specific to what they're talking about. This is where the AI starts to feel like an actual assistant. It's really insane. The third mode is called full service, and this is the most powerful option you have. In full service mode, the AI references your existing quotes, your appointments, your job history with that customer, and it can answer detailed questions about their account. Yes, you heard that correctly. Think of it as your AI having full access to everything your customer has ever done with your business. And I'm going with contextual for this demo because it's a sweet spot in between intelligence and predictability. Next is reply timing. The question being asked here is, when a customer sends a message, how quickly does the AI fire back to its response? You have 4 options here: immediately, 5 minutes later, 30 minutes, or 2 hours later. Immediately means the AI is going to respond the second that the text is sent. 5 minutes adds a small delay so the response reads as if a real person took the time to read and reply. 30 minutes and 2 hours gives you longer windows for more deliberate pacing. For this demo, I'm picking immediately so you can see the AI fire in real time. Reply tone is your next setting, and it matters more than what people give it credit for. There are 4 options for reply tone. Professional is the default. It's polished, respectful, slightly formal. Friendly is warmer, a little bit more conversational. The third one is casual. It's a little bit shorter and more text message-like. It's got a much more relaxed feel. And then there's match customer, which adapts the AI's tone to however the customer is talking to you. A casual customer gets a casual reply, a formal customer gets a formal reply, and a customer being an asshole gets an asshole reply. I'm just kidding about that one, but I'm sure you could technically get your AI to do that. So for this demo video, I'm gonna pick professional. This next section, in my opinion, is the single most important setting in this entire feature, and it's also the one that most people are gonna skip over entirely. It's called custom instructions. What this is essentially is a free text field where you can type in standing rules that the AI is gonna follow on every single reply it ever sends out. Think of it like a system prompt for your specific business. Whatever you put in this box, the AI treats it as core directive for how to interact with every single customer it's going to interact with. The reason that this matters so much is because this is where you encode your business specific personality, your specific value props, your specific positioning, things the AI can't possibly know just from reading customer conversation history. So I'm going to give you an example here. I'm going to type in, always mention we're licensed and insured, and if you're asked about pricing, direct them to request an estimate. These are just 2 simple rules, but they're going to dramatically change how the AI handles every conversation from this point moving forward. That first rule, mentioning licensed and insured, is the kind of thing that matters in home service marketing. Licensing and insurance are huge trust signals for customers who are about to let a stranger come into their home and perform a task. By forcing the AI to mention that in your replies, you're reinforcing a sales point on every single touch. The second rule is even more important than the last one. Pricing questions over text are one of the worst things that can happen to your close rate. When a customer texts in and asks how much it is, and then you just give them a number without context, you've handed that lead everything they need to compare shop you against 3 other competitors. The right move from a sales perspective is to redirect that conversation toward an actual estimate, a real conversation, a real assessment of their specific job. So forcing the AI to push pricing questions back towards the estimate form is a massive win that most contractors won't think to set up. Press save and let's go. AI permissions is the next section, and this is where the feature really starts to flex. The previous settings all controlled what the AI says. This controls what the AI is allowed to do on your behalf. There are 5 different toggles here. The first is create deals. When an AI detects a customer is showing buying intent, it automatically creates a deal in your sales pipeline. The second is book appointments. This allows the AI to schedule jobs directly on your calendar after checking your availability. The third is draft estimates. This allows the AI to create draft quotes that are ready for you to review and send to the customers. The fourth is draft invoices. Same idea, but for invoicing after a job. And the fifth is set reminders. The AI creates follow-up reminders so nothing falls through the cracks. And for this demo, I'm going to be turning on book appointments because it's the highest leverage permission in this entire list. But think about what all this means for a contractor. A customer texts in and says you can come out Tuesday at 10 a.m. Your calendar is open at that exact time, and the AI just confirms a booking and puts it on your schedule in real time. That's the kind of automation that actually moves the needle. I mean, you're having AI answer texts and schedule jobs for you. That's insane and something you won't find on any other home service contractor software. Now we're going to move into the guardrails section, and the first one is escalation. This is the intelligence layer that knows when a conversation needs a human. There are 3 toggles here. The master toggle is called Smart Escalation. Below it are two triggers, negative sentiment and urgent request. Negative sentiment means that if a customer's message contains anger, frustration, or a complaint, the AI routes that conversation straight to you so you can handle it personally. Because you don't really want an AI answering an angry customer for you, it might piss them off even further. Urgent request means that if a customer's message indicates something time sensitive, like an emergency, a leak, broken equipment, anything that needs immediate human attention, the AI sends it straight to you. Both of these triggers are exactly what you want for a real home service business, so I'm gonna leave both of these turned on. Next up is excluded topics. This is a list you build out yourself, and it represents topics that the AI is never going to engage with on its own. So if a customer brings up one of these topics, the AI routes it straight to you. This is where you would encode your specific business preferences. For example, I'm adding refunds to this list because I want refund conversations to be a human-to-human conversation. I'm also adding legal questions because anything that gets into liability, contracts, or legal disputes also belongs in a human conversation. You can add literally anything you want here. Warranty claims, scheduling disputes, anything you want to keep on your hands directly, you can do so. But let's go into the last section before we wrap this up, and that is reply cap. This controls how many back and forth exchanges the AI is allowed to have in a single conversation before it hands it over back to you. The options here are 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, or unlimited. I'm setting this one to 3. 3 back and forth is enough for the AI to handle most basic conversations. A customer asks a question, gets an answer, follows up and gets a second answer, asks one more, gets a third answer, and then I'm stepping in personally. Choose whatever you want, hit save, and let's move on. And that right there is the entire setup of this feature. We're back on the main overview now, and you can see every row reflects the new state that we just configured. Smart level on contextual, reply timing immediately, AI permissions showing book appointments enabled, reply tone professional, custom instructions filled in with 2 rules, escalation on with both triggers active, excluded topics showing the 2 that we added, reply cap set to 3. The whole thing took about 2 minutes to set up. Now I'm going to show you exactly what this does in the real world. For the demo purposes of this video, I'm pretending I'm a real customer reaching out for the first time to this business. I'm gonna run 6 different scenarios, so I'm gonna show you exactly how the AI handles each one of those. So scenario 1 is the most common type of inbound message that any home service business gets, and for this, I'm gonna use pressure washing as an example. It's a text saying, hey, looking for a quote on pressure washing my driveway and front walkway. Standard customer text. This is what 80% of your inbound is gonna look like. It's a real lead, they're polite and clear about what they want, and the response just came in. Notice it mentioned licensed and insured right out of the gate. That is our custom instruction firing. And instead of throwing out a price, it pushed the customer towards requesting an actual estimate, which is exactly what we set it up to do. The custom instructions are working perfectly, and we just protected the close rate on a real lead. Let's go on to scenario 2, and this is showing off the book appointments permission. I'm texting in, can you come out Friday at 2 p.m.? This is a real customer trying to book a specific time slot. The AI is going to check my calendar to see if Friday at 2 p.m. is open, and if it is, the AI is going to confirm the appointment on my behalf and then put it directly on my calendar. The response just came in confirming Friday at 2 p.m. Let me pull up the calendar, and there it is. Friday, 2 p.m., it's booked. The AI just did real scheduling for a real customer with no human in the loop in under a minute. That's the kind of automation that actually pays for itself in the first week of using this feature. So scenario 3 is putting the custom instruction to work. I'm texting in, how much do you charge for a 1,500 square foot house wash? This is a customer asking for a specific price for a specific job. And if you remember, we told the AI to redirect pricing questions to the estimate form, and the response just came in, and that's exactly what it did. It pushed the customer towards submitting a proper estimate request rather than throwing out a number that would let them go compare shop against 3 competitors. That's the kind of micro detail that compounds across hundreds of leads. Scenario 4 is showing the escalation in action. I texted in, this is ridiculous. No one ever called me back about my last appointment. This is an angry, frustrated customer. The AI is going to recognize the negative sentiment, step aside, and route this conversation straight to me. And right on cue, I just got a notification on my phone that this conversation needs my attention. The customer didn't get a tone-deaf canned reply. The conversation got routed straight to a human, and now I can take over personally. And that right there is the difference between an AI that helps your business and AI that puts your reputation at risk. But scenario number 5 is showing the excluded topics list at work. I'm texting in, I want a refund on the last service. Refunds is on our exclusion list, which means the AI should hand this conversation directly to me, the human. And that is exactly what just happened. Refund conversation stays human where they belong. Scenario number 6 is showing the reply cap. We set this cap to 3, which means after 3 back and forth exchanges, the AI is going to hand control back to me. I'm going to send in 3 short messages back to back to back, one after another. There's the 1 reply, there's 2 replies, and there is 3. And on the 4th message, the AI hands the conversation to the human. The cap is working exactly as designed. The AI knows when to step back and let a human take over for a deeper conversation personally. So that is the first look at QuoteIQ's AI Auto-Reply feature inside of QuoteIQ's Client Hub. If you ask me, my honest take on what we just looked at, the setup itself is genuinely fast. About 2 minutes if you know what you want. The custom instructions field is the biggest sleeper feature in this entire system. It's essentially a system prompt for your business, and the contractors who actually take the time to encode their specific positioning, their specific value props, and their specific sales playbook into that field are going to get dramatically more value out of this feature than anyone else. The action-taking permissions, especially book appointments, are the highest upside play here. That's where the time saving really compounds. A customer texts at midnight, the AI books the job, and you wake up to a confirmed appointment on your calendar. That right there is the future of home service businesses. But the bottom line of this entire thing, if you run a home service business and you're not the first person to respond when a lead reaches out, this category of feature is going to eat your competitors who don't use it. QuoteIQ's AI Auto-Reply is replying contextually, booking real appointments, holding the line on pricing conversations, routing the right messages to humans, and respecting every boundary you set during setup. It is the kind of feature that lets a 1 or 2 person operation compete with a much larger business because the AI is handling the inbound while you're out doing the actual work. So drop a comment down below and let me know how you'd set this up for your business, if you think that this would be useful for your business, if it would or wouldn't, and what custom instructions would you encode into this thing? Which permissions would you turn on first? Let me know down below. Thank you guys so much for watching Service Business Academy. I will see you in the next one.